If you are over 60 and still starting your day with heart-healthy cereal or a slice of whole wheat toast, thinking it's helping you stay trim and manage your weight, I need you to stop immediately. You've been told that just eating low-fat and exercising more is enough. But if your waistline isn't changing, or worse, if it's growing, it's because you're aiming at the wrong target. You're not just fighting the pinchable fat under your skin, subcutaneous fat. You are fighting the silent killer, visceral fat. For decades, we were told fat is fat. But scientists from Harvard Medical School and Johns Hopkins University have just released shocking findings that change everything we thought we knew about belly fat after 60. They found that visceral fat acts like its own independent, toxic organ, one that is constantly pumping inflammatory chemicals called cytokines into your bloodstream, leading to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cognitive decline. This isn't theory. A groundbreaking study in the British Medical Journal that followed 110,000 adults for nearly 20 years discovered that those who followed the traditional low-fat, high-carb advice actually had more visceral fat. But a small group, the ones eating the specific foods I'm about to share, lost up to 35% of this dangerous fat without exercising more. But what's the craziest part? The number one food on this list was shown to reverse fatty liver, a key sign of visceral fat, in 90% of participants in just 12 weeks. It contains a compound called choline, which acts like a light switch to activate the fat-burning genes in your liver. And it's 10 times cheaper than any expensive superfood powder out there. Most doctors have been telling you to avoid it for years. Stick around to the end to find out what it is. Welcome to Tip Senior Secrets, your channel for living healthy, strong, and independent well past 50, 60, and beyond. Before we dive into the 7 fastest ways to shrink visceral fat, let us know in the comments, how old are you, and where in the world are you watching us from? We read and try to respond to every single comment. The power of this community is you, so comment right below. Now, let's get started with number 7. Okay, number 7. Most people only think about psyllium husk when they're constipated, but this cheap, flavorless powder might be the most powerful visceral fat vacuum you're not using. Researchers in a landmark study published in the Journal of Obesity took 2 groups of overweight adults. Both ate the same diet. The group that only added psyllium husk before their meals lost 10% more visceral fat than the group that didn't. 10% alone might not sound like much, but that's the difference between a healthy liver and a fatty liver. The secret lies in its powerful 1-2 punch. 1, it swells up. When you take psyllium husk with water, it expands in your stomach into a thick gel. This gel physically fills you up, so you naturally eat less. More importantly, it slows down the absorption of sugar from your meal, preventing the massive insulin spike. And insulin is the hormone that commands your body to store visceral fat. What's the best way to take it? Simple. Start with 1 teaspoon, about 5 grams, dissolved in a full glass of water about 15 to 20 minutes before your largest meal of the day, be it lunch or dinner. Don't start with too much. Let your body adjust. This is your first step to vacuuming the visceral fat out of your system. Number 6. Most people wrinkle their noses at sardines thinking they're cat food. But I am here to tell you that this tiny, humble fish may be the most underrated suit of armor on the planet against visceral fat. Researchers at Kyoto University in Japan, a nation known for longevity, studied thousands of their elderly population. They found consistently that those with the highest blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids had the lowest visceral fat. And the most abundant, cheapest, and cleanest source of omega-3s, it's not farmed salmon, it's wild-caught sardines. The mechanism here is a double-barrel shotgun. 1, it's nature's fire extinguisher. As I said, visceral fat is an inflammation factory. It creates inflammation, and inflammation, in turn, creates more visceral fat. It's a vicious cycle. The omega-3s, specifically EPA and DHA in sardines, directly put out that fire. They reduce inflammatory cytokines, breaking the cycle and allowing your body to finally start releasing that stubborn fat. 2. It contains vitamin D3. Sardines are one of the few foods that naturally contain both omega-3s and vitamin D3. New studies show that vitamin D3 acts more like a hormone in your body. When your D3 levels are low, which they are in over 70% of Americans over 60, your body defaults to a winter fat storage mode, specifically around your organs. Eating sardines helps top off your reserves. The best way to eat them? Don't overthink it. Eat them straight from the can. Look for sardines packed in extra virgin olive oil, not soybean oil, and eat the bones. They are so soft you won't notice them, and they are packed with calcium and minerals. Aim for 3 to 4 cans a week. It's a small change with a massive impact. Moving on to number 5, green tea. Yes, you've heard it's good for you, but you probably don't know why it's a precision weapon against visceral fat. A massive meta-analysis, meaning they looked at the results of 15 trials, concluded that participants who consumed catechin-rich green tea had a significantly greater loss in abdominal fat, and specifically visceral fat, than those who just drank a placebo. And this happened even without changing their diet. The secret isn't the caffeine. The secret is a magic compound called epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG. EGCG inhibits an enzyme that normally breaks down norepinephrine, your fight-or-flight hormone. By keeping norepinephrine around longer, EGCG essentially sends a constant signal to your visceral fat cells, telling them, "Open the gates, release energy." It also boosts liver fat burning. This means your liver not only stops making new fat, but it starts burning its existing fat stores for energy more efficiently. It's like upgrading your metabolic engine. Here's how to do it right. You don't need to drink 10 cups. Studies show the sweet spot is about 3 to 4 cups of high-quality green tea per day. It's best to drink it between meals. If you're caffeine sensitive, have your last cup before 2 p.m. You can also take an EGCG supplement, but always talk to your doctor before starting anything new. Quick pause. We're halfway through, and the information is only going to get more powerful. If you are finding this video helpful and getting any value at all, do me one small favor. Please hit that like button. When you hit like, you're telling YouTube that this video is important. It helps the algorithm show this video to more seniors who might be in danger from visceral fat and not even know it. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We release powerful health secrets like this every day, and you won't want to miss our next video on brain health. All right, back to the list. Number 4 is one most people completely ignore. This is a habit, not a food, but it may be more important than anything you eat. It is quality sleep. Most people accept poor sleep as a part of aging. They wake up at 3 a.m. worrying. This is catastrophic for visceral fat. Researchers from Wake Forest School of Medicine found that people who slept 5 hours or less per night gained 2.5 times more visceral fat over 5 years than those who slept 7 to 8 hours. 2.5 times.
The mechanism is clear and frightening. 1. The cortisol catastrophe. When you are sleep deprived, your body goes into a state of stress. It pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol has one primary job: to take fat from safe places, like your arms and legs, and move it to a safe place for emergency storage. Guess where? Exactly, around your internal organs. 2. The hunger hormone collapse. Poor sleep increases ghrelin, the hormone that makes you starving, and decreases leptin, the hormone that makes you feel full. This is why on the day you're tired, you don't crave sardines, you crave donuts and cookies. You are fighting a chemical war you cannot win. How to fix it? Don't just try to sleep, prioritize it. The 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, no heavy food. 2 hours before bed, no work. 1 hour before bed, no screens, TV, phone, tablet. Make it cold. Your body needs to drop its core temperature to initiate sleep. Aim for a cool bedroom, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Wake up at the same time, even on weekends. This sets your circadian rhythm and is the fastest way to reset your cortisol clock. Treat sleep like a prescription, because it is. In the 80s and 90s, we were told avocados were fattening and bad. It was one of the worst pieces of health advice of all time. Avocados don't make you fat, they help you burn the wrong kind of fat. A brilliant study from the University of Illinois focused specifically on abdominal fat in overweight adults. They split participants into 2 groups. Both groups ate the exact same number of calories. The only group that ate 1 fresh avocado per day had a significant reduction in deep, visceral belly fat. They literally redistributed fat away from their organs. Why? The answer is in its unique fat profile. 1. Monounsaturated fats, or MUFAs. Avocados are loaded with MUFAs, just like olive oil. Unlike saturated or trans fats, MUFAs seem to turn off abdominal fat storage genes. They improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body doesn't need to pump out as much of that fat-storing hormone after a meal. It's the perfect 1-2 punch of good fats and good fiber. How to eat them is simple. Don't make it a high-calorie guacamole with a mountain of chips. Just slice half an avocado and eat it with a little salt and pepper. Add it to your salad. Add it to your morning eggs. A little hint for what's coming. Aim for 1/2 to 1 whole avocado per day. Number 2 isn't what you eat it, but how you eat it. This is a concept called protein pacing. Most Americans over 60 eat like this. Almost no protein for breakfast, cereal, toast, a little protein for lunch, 1 slice of deli meat in a sandwich, and then a giant protein bomb for dinner, a 12-ounce steak. This is a disaster for visceral fat and muscle loss. A breakthrough study from the National Institute on Aging found that an older adult's body can't process a huge amount of protein all at once. Anything over about 30 to 40 grams in one sitting doesn't get used to build muscle. It gets wasted or even stored as fat. However, the group that ate the same amount of protein but paced it evenly throughout the day, 30 grams at breakfast, 30 at lunch, and 30 at dinner, built 25% more muscle. So what does this have to do with visceral fat? Everything. 1. Muscle is your sugar sink. Muscle is the primary place your body stores extra sugar, or glucose, from food. When you lose muscle, or sarcopenia, that sugar has nowhere to go except to your liver, where it gets converted into visceral fat. By rebuilding muscle, you create a safe storage tank for carbohydrates. 2. Thermic effect of food. Protein has the highest thermic effect of all foods. That means your body burns up to 30% of protein's calories just to digest it. By eating protein at every meal, you are keeping your metabolic furnace stoked all day long. How to do it? Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. For breakfast,
Ditch the cereal. Have 3 eggs with a side of Greek yogurt. For lunch, a can of sardines mixed into a salad. For dinner, a palm-sized piece of chicken breast or salmon. This will change your body composition faster than almost anything else. And that brings us to number 1. And now for the number 1 item, the one I teased at the beginning, the one that is revolutionizing how we think about liver metabolism and visceral fat, the one that cardiologists told us to avoid for 40 straight years. It is the whole egg. Hear me out. The fear of dietary cholesterol in eggs is one of the greatest mistakes in nutritional medicine history. The iconic Framingham Heart Study, which followed generations, concluded that eating dietary cholesterol, like in eggs, has no correlation with blood cholesterol for the vast majority of people. But that's not why it's number 1. A stunning new study from the Journal of Nutrition proved that participants who ate whole eggs for breakfast were not only fuller, but had significantly better insulin sensitivity than those who ate a bagel breakfast. But the real secret is in the yolk. The reason eggs are the ultimate weapon against visceral fat is because of that powerful compound I mentioned earlier, choline. Choline is the fat chauffeur. Think of your liver as a busy kitchen. Visceral fat starts when the kitchen, the liver, gets too cluttered with fat, fatty liver. Choline is the kitchen manager. It collects all that fat, packages it into trucks, called VLDL, and chauffeurs it out of the liver to be used for energy by your body. With no choline, the fat just piles up in the liver, spills over, and becomes visceral fat. Egg yolks are the number 1 most concentrated source of choline in the American diet. 2, it builds muscle. Eggs are the perfect protein, containing high levels of leucine, the master switch that triggers muscle protein synthesis, which we just talked about in number 2. 3, the fat is satiating. The healthy fat in the yolk triggers your satiety hormones, like CCK, making you eat less over the next 24 hours. Here's the prescription. Forget eating egg whites. That's where all the protein is, but you're throwing away the medicine, the choline. For maximum visceral fat reversing benefits, aim for at least 2 to 3 whole eggs per day. The best time is at breakfast to set your metabolism for the day. Best way to cook them? Soft-boiled or gently pan-fried. Don't overcook them. So there you have it. 7 powerful science-backed ways to start shrinking that dangerous visceral fat starting today. We have psyllium husk to control insulin, sardines to fight inflammation, omega-3s, green tea to unlock fat cells, EGCG, quality sleep to reset cortisol, avocados for good fats that turn off fat storage genes, protein pacing to build your muscle sugar sinks, and the number 1, whole eggs for the fat chauffeur, choline. Remember, visceral fat is not an inevitable part of aging. It is a direct consequence of chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and nutritional deficiencies that these 7 items can help reverse. The studies prove it, the science backs it, now the choice is yours. Now we want to hear from you. We have 2 questions. What food or habit on this list are you going to try first? And second, were you someone who avoided eggs because you thought they were unhealthy? Be honest. Share your experiences and your opinions in the comments section below. This community thrives on your wisdom and your experience. Thank you for watching Tips Senior Secrets. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.